Welcome to Lesson 3.6. Today we're going to talk evaluating expressions. Here are the learning objectives. Make sure you read these and write these down before moving on. Here's our beginning problem. Make sure you pause the video and read this before moving on. So today we're going to talk about evaluating single variable expressions with given values for the variable. So an algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase involving letters, numbers, and operation symbols. A variable can be any letter, such as X, M, R, Y, P, and A, and others that we use in an expression. The variable represents possible values of a quantity. So take a look at the following examples of variable expressions. We've got 3x plus 10, we've got 10r, we've got b to the third power plus 2, and we've got mx minus 3. Variable expressions are used to describe real-world situations when we don't know a value or a quantity. Sometimes a value is dependent on a changing variable. When we work with a variable expression, we can say that we evaluate the expression. To evaluate means to find the value of. We find the value of an expression. Why don't we solve expressions? To solve something in math means that it has to equal a value. An expression does not have an equal sign, therefore we can't solve it. Also, a variable in an expression can have several different values, whereas in an equation, the variable has one value that makes the equation true. So evaluate the expression 10k minus 44 is if k equals 12. A number next to a letter means that we multiply. This is a good time to blast back in math and think about how we show multiplication and division besides using a multiplication or a division sign. So the blast back, multiplication can be shown using a dot, or by putting both terms in parentheses, or by a letter and a number next to each other, such as 5a, or by a number next to a parenthesis. Division can be shown with a fraction bar, as in x over 2, which means the quantity x divided by 2. So if we bring back that example, 10k minus 44 if k equals 12, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 12 and I'm going to put it in for k. So I'm going to do 10 times 12 minus 44. Well, 10 times 12 is first because order of operations says we multiply before we subtract. And if I multiply those together, I get 120. So I've got 120 minus 44, which if I plug that into my calculator, I would get 76. So 76 is my answer. Evaluate the expression x over 3 plus 2 if x is 24. So again, I'm going to take 24 and I'm going to plug it in for x. So it'll look like this, 24 over 3 plus 2. Remember, this fraction bar means we divide. So if I do 24 divided by 3, I get 8. So I'm doing 8 plus 2, which gives me an answer of 10. Go ahead and pause the video and solve these three before hitting play and seeing how you did. Okay, so for the first one, we plug 20 in for a. We get 20 over 4 minus a. Remember, 20 over 4 is 20 divided by 4, which gives us 5. So we've got 5 minus 8, which gives us an answer of negative 3. For the second one, we plug 9 in for x, and we get 4 times 9 minus x. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 minus 9 is 27. For the last one, we plug 36 in for y, so we got 5 times 36 is plus 6. 5 times 36 is 180. 180 plus 6 is 186. Just a reminder of our order of operations. We are going to be using these in the next steps. So remember, if we just have numbers in the expression, we follow our order of operations. So I don't see any parentheses or any exponents. I do see a multiplication problem, so I do need to do that first. 3 times 5 is 15. So I've got 2 plus 15. There's no more multiplying or dividing, so I can go into add and subtract. 2 plus 15 gives me 17. So keep that in mind moving forward. So we can apply this information to variable expressions. How? Well, if you remember that a variable expression has variables, numbers, operations, and sometimes exponents in it. We can start by thinking about evaluating variable expressions. When we evaluate an expression, we are finding the value of that expression. If given a value for a variable, we substitute the numerical value of the variable into the expression. Then we can find the total value of it. Some variable expressions will have more than one variable in it. We can evaluate the expression if we have been given the values for all of the variables included. So we're going to evaluate the expression 4b plus 12 divided by 4 minus 8, and we're given b is 6. So the first thing we always do is we plug our number in for our variable. So instead of 4b, we're going to have 4 times 6 plus 12 divided by 4 minus 8. Now we go through our order of operations. There are no parentheses, there are no exponents. Multiply and divide from left to right. 4 times 6 gives me 24. 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. So I've got 24 plus 3 minus 8. No more multiplication or division, so I can move on to addition and subtraction. Again, we go from left to right. 24 plus 3 is 27, so I've got 27 minus 8, which will give me 19 for a final answer. Now we've got the expression 21 over x minus 7 plus 8y, and we're given that x is 3 and y is 4. So now, since we have more than one variable and we're given more than one number, you have to remember which one goes where. 3 is going to go in for x, and 4 is going to go in for y. So I have 21 over 3 minus 7 plus 8 times 4. Going through my order of operations, no parentheses, no exponents. Multiply, divide from left to right. 21 over 3 is 21 divided by 3, which gives me 7. 8 times 4 gives me 32. So I've got 7 minus 7 plus 32. No more multiplication or division, so I can move on to adding and subtracting. From left to right, 7 minus 7 gives me 0. 0 plus 32 gives me an answer of 32. Go ahead and pause the video and get these three done before hitting play and seeing how you did. For the first one, we plug 5 in for a and get 5 times 5 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 9. 5 times 5 is 25, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I get 25 plus 3 plus 9. 25 plus 3 is 28. 28 plus 9 is 37. For the second one, plugging 4 in for x, we get 7 times 4 plus 14 divided by 7 minus 3. 7 times 4 is 28. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 28 plus 2 minus 3. 28 plus 2 is 30. 30 minus 3 is 27. For the last one, 6 goes in for x, 9 goes in for y, so I get 48 over 6 plus 5 times 9 minus 7. 48 over 6 is 8. 5 times 9 is 45. 8 plus 45 is 53. 53 minus 7 gives me 46. Now we're going to start using powers and grouping symbols, but we're going to do it the same way we've done before. So we plug in the values that we're given, and we use our order of operations, and we solve. Just another reminder of our order of operations. So now we have 2x squared minus, in parentheses, x plus 7, and we're told that x is 4, so I'm going to take 4 and I'm going to plug it in for both x's. So I'm going to have 2 times 4 squared minus 4 plus 7. So if I go through my order of operations, we have parentheses, so I have to solve that first. 4 plus 7 is 11. So I've got 2 times 4 squared minus 11. No more parentheses. I have an exponent. 4 squared, remember, 4 times 4, that'll give me 16. So I've got 2 times 16 minus 11. No more exponents. Multiply and divide, I have a multiplication here. 2 times 16 gets me 32. No more multiplication or division. I can go to add and subtract. 32 minus 11 gives me 21. Now we've got 3x squared minus 2 plus, in parentheses, x plus 3. I'm told that x is 2, so in both places for x I'm going to put a 2. So I've got 3 times 2 squared minus 2 plus, in parentheses, 2 plus 3. Parentheses are first, so 2 plus 3 gives me 5. So I've got 3 times 2 squared minus 2 plus 5. No more parentheses. I have an exponent. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. So I've got 3 times 4 minus 2 plus 5. No more exponents. Multiply and divide from left to right. I've got 3 times 4, which is 12. So I have 12 minus 2 plus 5. No more multiplying and dividing. Add and subtract from left to right. 12 minus 2 is 10. 10 plus 5 gives me a final answer of 15. Go ahead and pause the video and give this one a try, and then hit play and see how you did. Plugging 3 in for x and 4 in for y gives us an expression of 24 over 3 plus, in parentheses, 9 minus 3 plus 4 squared. First thing we do is parentheses. 9 minus 3 is 6. Next we do exponents. 4 squared is 4 times 4 is 16. Multiply and divide is next. 24 divided or over 3 is the same as 24 divided by 3, which is 8. So I've got 8 plus 6 plus 16. Adding from left to right, 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 16 is 30. Here's the beginning problem finished off. Make sure to read through that before moving on. Just some things to review. When solving variable expressions, be sure to use order of operations. If you need to isolate the variable to solve, it is important to use the inverse operation on both sides of the equation. Parentheses are used as grouping symbols. They indicate which operation should be done first. An expression is a mathematical phrase which contains numbers, variables, and operations, and a variable expression has variables, numbers, operations, and sometimes exponents in it.